What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are crushing it today, getting what you need to done. Outside's pretty chill. It's like if you could put some lo-fi music on, open a book, listen to the fire kind of like crackle while you like read. I don't know. Seems like really chill day. So we're doing a chill video, which means we're doing an interview video with Aaron, 27 years old, doesn't have a college degree, and just got a job making $28 an hour. Before that, he was doing retail, he was doing construction, he was doing inventory management, but he never had a dev job. He did do some freelance stuff, some graphic design stuff on the side, but that was kind of like his side hustle to have money to spend besides just like barely meeting his bills every month. $28 an hour, if we do a little bit of math here, that is $58K a year roughly. So the trick is you double the hourly and add 4%, and that would be your salary. So we're gonna round that up to $60,000 for all intensive purposes of this video, and he lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. So $60,000 there is actually a lot of money. His rent is $900 a month. Your take home as a single male with $60,000 is about $1,800, $1,900 every 2 weeks. One other thing about Aaron here is that he is a face transplant specialist. So you can see what I mean here. Basically, he made me the creator of balance in the universe, and he also made my friend Captain America. He made Chris Not Nice, Wakanda Forever. He's really good at what he does. So if you want your face on a superhero, just go ahead and shoot him an email. I'll pin that down as a comment. If we look at his portfolio here, you can see he has a pretty diverse portfolio. He's got After Effects, which is like for video, like what I do. He's got his web app that we'll talk about in the interview. He's got some graphic designs, some screenshots, some layouts of some websites he's done for his freelance career. And it's a pretty good portfolio. So if you guys were looking for an example of something for UI, UX, and design that got a job, here you go. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. What's your educational background look like?
So I have a high school diploma. That is about it. I attended like a 1-year college I was originally going to go for organic chemistry, but life came up.
And what have you been doing in the meantime? Just like working? How have you been supporting yourself?
I've had quite a few jobs. I've worked in the construction industry. I've worked retail. And then my previous job, which was actually a real job, was I was a chemist. No college degree, no boot camp. I didn't do any kind of boot camp. I've been actually doing a lot of freelance work just from UI, UX for a very long time, but no development experience until recently.
What did you learn development on if you didn't go to boot camp?
What did I learn it on? I started off as doing UI and UX and just general graphic design as well as like 3D renders and animation. I kind of realized that I couldn't make the projects that I wanted to make just doing HTML, CSS. Obviously, you can't make interesting web apps. So I kind of looked towards like what technology it requires to do such a thing. The MERN stack is kind of what I found. I just went with it, stuck with it, trying to create your $1 million apps. Obviously, they don't always work out. They're not always $1 million apps, but it ended up in a cool web dev jobs.
What did you use to learn that stack?
I think I originally started off with JavaScript on Codecademy.
Free Code Camp, Codecademy, there's a lot.
Codecademy. Oh, I did Free Code Camp too. Codecademy just to learn the basics of JavaScript. Honestly, I just went to like either between going to GitHubs and looking at code and looking up what I didn't know for like React, like the docs. YouTube videos are good. I think I bought a course on Udemy that I never watched more than 2 hours of.
I'm pretty sure that's the story of everyone who's ever bought a Udemy course.
Oh, I have like 10. I thought it would, man, it went on sale one time for 90% off, and I thought this was the sale of a lifetime and I would never get this deal again. And every time I look, it's 90% off. So, but as far as like individual resources, I guess, I think I looked up some YouTube videos and you kind of just go from there. You get a decent foundation enough to start. Like I have a project in mind, and then you, how do I do this in React? And how do I do this in React? And eventually you start learning the patterns, and you just Googling Stack Overflow, I guess, is the biggest help.
Could you show us a few of your projects that you worked on for this?
One of them got really popular. I put it on Reddit, and I got to link to the front page of Reddit. It was a website that used the League of Legends API to display all the streamers currently in the game with each other that are playing in the same game, so you can see different perspectives of the players playing at the same time. There was no way to get their streamer name and their like League of Legends ID at the same time. Literally went around, manually typed in people's whatever they were playing with at the time and got their IDs, and then made my own MongoDB database, that's the first time I ever seen MongoDB. Everything else I've been spending my time freelancing.
Can we ask how much you were making through the years versus the job that you just got recently?
My construction job was really bad. I did it in El Paso, Texas. I was making literally like $300 a week, and this wasn't that long ago. This really was not that long time ago. It was really hard to live. It's actually been a struggle ever since I was 18. So I've been on my own since I was 18. Before that, I worked retail, making $10 an hour. Things turned around when I moved back here to Vegas, doing the inventory manager position. I started at $15 an hour. I moved up to 17. I started doing the chemistry position, which started paying more. Just today, actually, got an offer for $28 an hour doing web dev. So yeah, and it's remote. Yeah, they're here in town. The company's here in town, but you just work. It's a remote work at home position. I guess we meet like once a month or whatever.
What was the interview like? So you had to go there for the interview.
Actually, listen, the interview was really weird. I thought it was going to be like go down to the office, but we met at a Starbucks, and I had never heard of this. She was pretty cool. She showed me the project that I would be working on, and like they have a pretty much a whole built out prototype. Show me like their Slack and stuff like that.
Did you get any technical questions? Did she ask you about your history? Did she want to see your previous freelance work?
So I got a lot of my, I guess, credentials based off of my current my resume and my personal portfolio. They did a lot of digging in the previous code and the personal portfolio, and it's mostly a UI UX position with some React, a lot of HTML, a lot of CSS, a lot of Photoshop work, as well as React. And they want me to learn Angular too. It's full time. I haven't really discussed the benefits. I was too excited about those.
How long have you been looking for development positions and UI UX positions in like a more professional way instead of just freelancing?
I just started applying last week, like for real. I don't know if this is I don't think it is a normal time frame from what I've been hearing. I've had a ton of responses, but only after I changed my resume. I originally started applying with I don't really want to link you the resume. I don't think I even have it anymore, but it was pretty garbage resume. And I didn't have I had my personal portfolio set up, but I had a really bad resume and I had no cover letter. I think at the end of last week, I changed my resume up. I got a ton of responses, like almost immediately. It's all like, I would say I exaggerated a little bit. I could defend everything on that resume. So yeah, that's a big thing to make sure you can do is defend everything because they did. A lot of them did ask me to defend literally everything on that resume. So
your background is very unrelated to development in general, construction, yes. Retail. How did you structure that resume and defend that and your cover letter if all you had were freelancing projects?
I never got any questions. I had people interested, kind of like giving me praise for being a chemist, I guess. I never had any like, what does any of this mean? Like I explicitly stated to these people, I've never worked with a team. I have actually done a lot of freelance work in the past doing UI UX stuff, but I've never worked in a team. I thought it was weird when they called me and they asked me to explain like React life cycles, and so I've never verbalized code to anybody. I've never like really verbalized any of this stuff to anybody else because I have friends, but nobody else that I know is into this. So
how did you get your first client, and has it been a consistent thing doing freelancing, or is it just kind of like odd jobs?
I wouldn't recommend trying to be a freelancer without being really good at what you do, I guess. It's pretty hard to pick up clients. Like I got lucky. I made a website for my dad, and then my dad told his friends, and I started making websites for my dad's pretty well connected in town. So I did like a lawyer site, and then the lawyer started referring people, and I started doing like odd jobs here and there. But no, this is not a living. This is how I got by. This is how I stay alive through $10 an hour jobs.
How long were you putting in the hours on the side, learning how to code through all these jobs?
Okay, so just in the past 2.5 years is when I started learning how to code, like full on. Like obviously it's hard with a day job, and I have a girlfriend. It's hard to just lock yourself in a room and just code as much as possible, but that's what I did. Honestly, I spent as many hours as I could every single day, at least a couple hours every day learning how to code.
So to people watching this, 2 years is going to see, or 2.5 years is going to seem like a long time. Why did you wait 2.5 years to apply?
It's not a long time if I'm only doing it, if I'm only learning on my off time. You know what I mean? I still held a full-time job. And I wish I did apply sooner. Because I feel like the amount of responses I got and how fast I got response. I'm not saying I'm a good programmer. Like, I definitely don't know anything compared to you or, some of the better programmers, but I feel like I still could have gotten a job. You'd be surprised about how willing some of these people are to work with you. This job does not have a React in it. It's just an Angular job. I don't know any Angular, but they're willing to work with me on learning Angular.
What do you think separated you in the interview or for these jobs?
It's hard for me because I don't talk to any other developers. I don't talk to any other designers. Your community is literally the only other people who understand code or design that I've ever spoken to about any of this.
You have like 4 more interviews this week, and you're going to make them compete against each other pretty much. And then, depending on if you get offers or not. What is your application to response ratio in the past week or so?
I would say at the very least in town, from the jobs that I applied to in my city, I've had to have gotten over a 50% response rate. Those are for the ones that I applied locally in Las Vegas. I applied to every job I could find on Indeed or Glassdoor. There was a couple like Google or whatever, and I applied to every remote job. Literally everyone I could find that even remotely matches my job description. So I probably put 100 plus applications.
I think the jobs that people have the highest chance of getting remote are local, and then you negotiate remote. That's what I've done for the past few jobs. I was like, all right, I'll come in the office X days, and then I slowly reduce those X days down because they get to know you. You put in your dues for a few months, and then boom, you got the trust. You can do it. But as long as you inform them up front that that's what you want to do, and it's a small company and you're working alone most of the time, then it doesn't matter.
I know my place. I know I am a junior dev, but I don't want to get paid like a junior dev, so I didn't apply to junior dev positions because why would I? I'm too old. I just applied to I even applied to senior jobs. Yeah, because they're gonna look at your resume and they're gonna like, this matches and you're qualified, right? Their senior might mean something else to someone else's senior. So just put in all the applications and wait for the responses. What's the worst that can happen? I had a call and they asked me some really complicated JavaScript questions. I had no idea. I was like, I don't know these. I don't know any of these, man. I'm sorry. And then that was it.
Any advice that you would give to people out there watching that are in a similar position?
I think the biggest thing to get someone to call you back, or at least that's usually half the battle, right? It's just to get them to call you back. Because a lot of the times you just get ghosted. If you're applying to remote positions, they just will not call you back. They won't even tell you no. They won't tell you yes. They just won't even respond. The best thing to do, I personally think this, you might not think this, I think you really need a nice personal portfolio, like a really attractive one, like just something nice. Put a lot of work into it, right? This is your second resume. Cover letter is huge and your resume is huge. Those, like, your resume and cover letter are just of the absolute most importance to getting called back.
For your particular history, more of like design and UI UX portfolio weighs a lot more. For you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For JavaScript, like dev stuff, they're going to want to see GitHub pushes, daily commits. They want to see that checkered tile on that GitHub when they look for like more like dedicated dev positions. But because of design, absolutely, you are essentially a digital artist. So portfolio is everything. Like you got to have, it's like a tattoo artist, Everybody, like, I'm not going to let this dude do stuff for me if I can't see what he's done.
Yeah, exactly. I had almost everybody who responded, or not everybody, I would say 50% of the people who responded did comment on my portfolio and they said it was nice.
So if there's people out there that want to talk to you, reach out to you for advice, tips, if they're in like the Las Vegas area and they're like, I don't know what to do, where can they find you?
You can get my email off there, my GitHub on there. Just email me, man. I'll respond.
They can come in here and they can chat with you on Discord too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm on Discord all the time. Probably too much, actually. Let me go off your Discord.